Do you? Nah, do you know what's mad, yeah? I was just shouting me dog, and her name's Ruby, so when, like, I'm going, Ruby, and she doesn't come, like, when I'm shouting her straight away, I'll be like, Ruby. Works every time. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV. I'm excited. I'm in a good mood. I've just came off a live stream with rants, with expressions, with Saeed, and even though two of them are Man United fans, it was a laugh, man. They're such belter fellas, and make sure you go and subscribe to Rant's YouTube channel. And obviously, if you're subscribed from here, from Rant's YouTube channel, then thank you very much for coming on to the Redmond Roundup. We are here to preview the Liverpool versus Ajax game that is taking place tomorrow at time of recording. By the way, just to let you know, a heads up that I record these Redmond Roundups a night before the morning it uploads. So right now it's 10:30 at night, and this will be uploaded at 8:30 tomorrow morning when you're watching it. So, like I said, we've got a Liverpool versus Ajax preview, but before we do any previews, I have got some exciting news, and first off, I do have to actually thank you for this. We've got a sponsor. We've got a sponsor of the show, and that's been through all your support, and for that I am forever thankful and I am forever grateful. Today's video is brought to you by OneFootball. Thank you very much to them for sponsoring this video, and make sure that you go over in the top link of the description and download their app. It is fantastic, people. I didn't know there were so many countries, so many leagues for you to go and view information from, latest news, latest transfers. You can also see all the latest updates and live scores when your team is playing. Yes, you can choose your preferred team. So for my team, it's Liverpool. You can see all the latest information on them. But not only that, people, it doesn't only go that far. You can go and see anything to do with teams in the Premier League, anything to do with teams in the Champions League, Europa League, any team across Europe, any team across the world. You can go and have a look and see how they're doing in their leagues and any news based on what their team is going through. Make sure that you download the OneFootball app, people. It is fantastic. And obviously, I want to thank them once more for supporting this channel. Make sure you go and support them because they support us massively. One massive big shout out to OneFootball again, and yeah, top link in the description, people. Thank you very much. Thank you to OneFootball, and make sure you go and download that app for sure. Anyway, people, Liverpool and Ajax, a very big game. One game that I'd say a lot of Liverpool fans are quite worried about, based on the fact that it is important, and even though we only need what I think is 2 points left to finish top of the group stage, which isn't a lot of points, especially when you consider the fact we've got 6 more points to play for, and that's against Ajax. Yes, the champions of Netherlands, but Netherlands. And then you've got Midtjylland, who are the champions from wherever they're from. No disrespect to Midtjylland right there, but either way, if we can just get it out the way, then we can 100% rest for Midtjylland. Does that make sense? So even though we're going to probably have to rest a few players anyway for this game, we can then go further and look at that Midtjylland game and think, you know what, we can actually go into that game with a completely second team, and even if we lose, it's not that big of a deal. That's why this game is important, and a lot of Liverpool fans are nervous. That's one thing I want to establish. A lot of Liverpool fans are very, very nervous for this, and I understand to a degree why they're nervous. I understand. Sorry there, people, my camera actually went off, so I've just had to turn it back on. Basically, the point that I was trying to make is I understand why Liverpool fans are worried going into this game, and for all the reasons that I've just suggested there, as well as they're actually a good team, and we saw that in our previous game that we won 1-0. But no, before I actually go any further into any match facts and stuff like that, I've got a Redmond question of the day. But not only that, I just want to first off say rest in peace to Papa Diop, a ex-professional footballer, a former Fulham football player, and I didn't really know too much about his career or what he'd done, but I thought, you know what, it's absolutely worth a mention when you hear sad news like that in a video, because at the end of the day, he contributed a lot to our sport, and even though I don't know much about his career, I'm sure that he will just share big moments, not only with his family, but with his clubs when he was playing. So rest in peace to Papa Diop, and obviously sincere condolences to all of his friends and family, etc. So yeah, moving in to the Redmond question of the day. Obviously the last one was name 3 players that have played for both Liverpool and Ajax. If I haven't watched that video, then answer that question. But here's today's one. On this day, now bear in mind I'm recording this the night before it's getting uploaded, so take that into consideration. So it's the 29th right now. So on this day, so on the 29th, not the 30th when you'll be watching it. On this day, in 1998, Steven Gerrard, our almighty captain, made his debut, replacing Jamie Redknapp as a substitution. The question I have for you is, who did we play And what score did that game finish? Leave it in the comments down below. Who did we play when Gerrard made his debut in 1998? Who did we play and at what score did the game finish? Leave your comments down below and we will get back to that in a little while. Anyway, match facts for Liverpool versus Ajax. We have played each other 3 times. Twice, well, 2 of those times being in 1966. Ajax won one of them games 5-1. The other game was drew 2-2. And obviously, we've had our 3rd game very recently in which we won 1-0. So it's actually a 1 win for them, 1 win for us and a draw. So this is like the tiebreaker in a way, unless it's another draw. But if one of the teams wins, then it's a tiebreaker. Obviously, in some way over aggregate, because them 2 games, funnily enough, back in 1966, was in the European Cup, and it seems like they beat us over 2 legs. So in a way, they've got our number as far as 3 games have gone, but I'm sure we're going to have a lot more games. Isn't it devastating that we couldn't go to Dam as Scousers? I just want to mention that dead quick. That's so shit. I would have loved to go on the Dam this year with all my mates. I'm just... Even the stadium's nice, do you know what I mean? The people are nice in Amsterdam. I've been a couple of times. Belt's a little place, Belt's a little place. By the way, I don't know if I've said this already, but make sure you have got your cup of tea for today's Redmond Roundup. So that's the head-to-head between both clubs. But also, Ajax have won every game since we beat them. So since we beat them 1-0, they've won every game in the league. They've been on fire. Funnily enough, the one loss they have in the league came just before they played against us. So it seems like they've really sorted themselves out. Under 2.5 goals in the last 7 Champions League matches for Liverpool Football Club. And 2 goals in the last 3 matches for Ajax. So there's a few match facts going into the game. I'm also going to be talking about the injuries that Ajax have. Also the threats that they have to offer, as well as their strengths and weaknesses as a team. And then I'll get into the Liverpool starting 11 prediction, as well as the score prediction. So the player injuries that they've got, it's actually only one player for Ajax who's actually a crucial player that they're going to be missing, and his name is Mohamed Kudus. Now, I might have completely butchered that name, but he's an attacking midfielder. He's 20 years of age. He's played 3 games this season. Only that amount because of an injury, I assume. 3 games this season, 1 goal and 3 assists. Like I said, he's got an average of an 8.29 rating according to who scored. And you know what? When I see a rating like that, that shows that he is a good player. And to be fair, from the traits that he looked like he has, he seems like that he's a quick play, he's very direct, and that is... We need to be facing as little of those players as possible. Ajax have still got dangerous players, don't get me fucking wrong. But one less player, one less dangerous player never hurts. So yeah, that's big news. As for their threats, I'm going to name a few players off here. Anthony, if you don't know who Anthony is, he's a 20-year-old right winger. I think he can play on the left as well, so he's versatile. But he's quick, he's direct, he's skillful as well, but he's intelligent with it. I've watched him a few times. I've saw a few highlights. Can't say I watch him week in, week out, but he looks like a dangerous player and someone who can offer a lot in this game for Ajax. Davy Klaassen, an Everton legend, most Everton fans would say. yeah, mocking it. Davy Klaassen actually balling this season for Ajax. Like, we've got to take him serious. I actually think he nearly scored in the game against us recently, but 6 games this season, 5 goals, 1 assist. He's been on fire. Another player that's been on fire for them, Dusan Tadic. We all know about Dusan Tadic, former Southampton player, and has been smashing it ever since. We know his quality. 10 games, 7 goals, 3 assists. 10 goal contributions in 10 games. We have got to be aware of him, and we know that we have just been ripped apart by Alejandro Gomez from Atalanta. He was very good, and Tadic is very similar, maybe slightly slower, but still a very similar sort of player that can cause problems because he's got the IQ, mate. That's one thing that a lot of players seem to underestimate when it comes to how good someone is, and a lot of fans underestimate about players. Per Shares, someone that I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans would take at Liverpool on their Christmas wish list. I certainly would. He's quality, Per Shares. He looked good in the last game. Very solid, 20 years of age. Seems like he's got a lot of promise. And Andrea Onana, and the reason why I'm mentioning him is because Liverpool just can't seem to get the ball past the net at the minute. Am I the only one who's seeing this? Because Liverpool's just fire ability, and this is why I'm so happy we've got Jota, just seems to have diminished it slightly over the past few games, not completely, and I'm sure we'll be back, but recently we haven't been putting the goals in the net, mate, as much as we usually do. Therefore, it's not ideal that we're coming up against a very good goalkeeper in Andre Onana. As for the strengths and weaknesses as a team, they're good at creating chances, they're good at keeping possession, and one thing I will say, when they get chances and when they create chances, they're very clinical. That's our benefit to having the best goalkeeper in the world, in my opinion, in Alisson, in between the sticks. But it's still a very difficult task to do when you've got young defenders who are quite inexperienced and they're coming up against some very, very top players in that Ajax team. In fact, one player that I didn't mention in that Ajax threats list was Quincy Promes, and I'm missing a few others, Daley Blind as well. There's loads of players that I'm missing off. It's because they've got a very good team, a very good squad, not just team, a very good squad. And they can cause Liverpool problems no matter who they start. I feel like they've probably got better squad depth going into this game than what we do. And for that reason, even though they create a lot of chances and even though they're going to be doing that in this game, it's very important that Liverpool take the approach and realise what we're playing here, because we can't be taking it for granted. They're very repetitive, but one thing I will say is they concede a lot of chances, and even though that contradicts what I've kind of just said about us not creating many, it's obviously always a good thing to know that your opposition is quite susceptible to conceding big chances against bigger sides. So, yeah, obviously they're going to look so dominant. They're playing in the Netherlands League, which isn't as challenging, but we do know that they can offer a threat on their day as well. So, yeah, that's all to do with Ajax in terms of their strengths, their weaknesses, the best players, how they play, etc. Now I'm going to give you the answer to the Redmonds of the Day question, which I gave you at the start of the video. And so the question was, I'll remind you if you forgot. On this day, in 1998, Steven Gerrard made his debut for Liverpool Football Club, replacing Jamie Redknapp as a substitution. But who did we play? And what was the score? 2 points on offer here. Make sure you've left your comment if you haven't already. And the answer is... Blackburn is the team that we played, and the score, and make sure you never cheated, and if you did, shame on you, shame on your face. Blackburn was the team, 2-0 was the score. Liverpool won 2-0 that day. I think it was Michael Owen who scored, and who else? I can't remember the other scorer. But Michael Owen was one of the scorers for sure. So yeah, that's the answer to that. Anyway, as for my lineup prediction and my score prediction, well, I'll start off with my lineup prediction, obviously. I've gone with a 4-3-3. Again, I say this quite often when I say that I've gone with the 4-3-3. It's our best formation. It's the one that keeps us the most intact. It's our most fluid formation. Obviously, it doesn't matter what your best formation is when you've got injuries, but I'm just going to say the team that we start with, which is what I'm saying, it's a starting 11, is going to be a 4-3-3. Anyway, in goal, Alisson, let's skip over. Left back, Robertson. You'll hear me out in a minute. Some people would say rest Robertson, but you will hear me out in a second. Centre-backs, Joel Matip and Reece Williams. Now, I've gone with Joel Matip and Reece Williams. One, because Joel Matip was rested on the weekend, and I think it was solely for this game, and it's because Jurgen Klopp doesn't want him to play 3 games in a week, which is fair enough. And I'm going with Reece Williams because we've obviously just started Fabinho, and even though we could possibly move into the midfield in this game, I just don't know if he'll definitely start as a centre-back because... First off, Reece Williams is being saved for the Champions League, in my opinion, because Nat Phillips can't play in the Champions League. Obviously, Nat Phillips has just played against Brighton, done very well, by the way. But I think this is a game for Reece Williams, and he's been solid so far. Same with Nat Phillips, both players. Every time they came in, obviously Reece Williams made that goal, made that mistake leading to the second goal against Atalanta. But other than that, he had a solid game, and I can't say too much wrong about him so far. So I'm going with him and Matip as my centre-backs. And now my right-back. We've got no Trent, we've got no Milner, and do people really want to start Nico Williams? And I've said my piece on how I think about people slating Nico Williams, but I do understand if people don't want to see him start. I'm one of them people, even with the fact we've got no right-backs. I'm going with Tsimikas. Let me know what you think, and maybe you'll disagree with me. Maybe you'll say, put Robbo there. Maybe you're right. Maybe do put Robbo there. However you want to do that, make Robbo and Tsimikas your full-backs. In my opinion, I think Tsimikas is a more solid, more experienced player and more confident than Nico Williams. You've got to take that into consideration. Nico's shot of it right now, very shot of it, and I just think that'd be a good game for Tsimikas to come into and also get more minutes because he's been building some momentum. As for the midfield, Genie Wijnaldum, I was about to say Genie Henderson, Genie Wijnaldum, Curtis Jones, and Jordan Henderson. Obviously, we know that Jordan Henderson needs to come back into that midfield. We saw how much we missed a leader against Brighton. We saw how much we missed someone who commanded that midfield. We saw how much we missed his ability to be able to spread that ball. And Jordan Henderson is just different gravy. And I've said this countless times. If you're a neutral and you don't respect Henderson for what he does for Liverpool and what he's had to overcome in his career, and you don't realise how much of a world-class player that Jordan Henderson is, then I don't have time to have a conversation with you, because I don't think anyone's wrong in football. I think everyone's got their own opinions, but literally watch that first half of Brighton and watch that second half and you will see why Jordan Henderson is so important to Liverpool. Curtis Jones comes back in the midfield for me, obviously never started against Brighton, come on as a right back from the looks of things. Never want to see that again. Never want to see that again. That's one thing I did question from Klopp. I was like, you've actually got a fullback on the bench. Why aren't you bringing him on? That was my only thing that I questioned tactically about Jurgen Klopp that day against Brighton. But as for this, I do think Curtis Jones will come back in the midfield. I think that's why he was rested against Brighton, and I think he'll do a good job. Bear in mind, the last time he actually played midfield, he done well against Leicester. So we'll just go with that, and we'll go and go down the path with that, because it's positive in it, you know what I mean? So Gini, Jones and Henderson, and then my front three is going to be Sadio Mane, because he got rested, so he's going to start this game for me. Mohamed Salah, and then it's between Jota and Firmino. Some people will put in Firmino because he's been doing well recently, he's been picking up a bit of form. I thought he had a great game against Leicester, I thought he had a sound game against Brighton, but I'm going to go with Jota for this, because, like I said, if you want to go and kill a game, you're going to need to put your most informed finisher right now in the team. You're going to need to put him in the team. Absolutely have to. There's no doubt about it. Diogo Jota is another level. He has been since he came into the club, and I think if this game is going to be 1-0, I will put a lot of money on like 1-0 to Liverpool. I'll put a lot of money on that goal being from Diogo Jota, and I'll put that over Mo Salah and Mane, who are usually our two most dangerous players. But that's my starting 11. I'll put it on the screen as well. But let me know in the comments down below what your starting 11 is. How would you approach this game? These starting 11s are getting harder and fucking harder. Let's be real. Like, every time it's a new player out. We haven't got James Milner available for this game. We did last week, but it's like when you're playing 3 games a week, it is going to happen. I'm just wondering if it's going to get to a point where Liverpool won't be able to play. I'm wondering. I really am. We're having to promote players from the youth system as well. I think the latest one is Leighton Clarkson. So obviously good luck to him, but it's not ideal for our hopes of pushing on as a Premier League side this season. So hopefully he proves his worth, do you know what I mean? So that's the starting 11 that I've gone with. I've asked myself a question here. Why this 11? And how do I think Liverpool should approach the game? And I've gone with this 11 because I think that's the strongest possible 11, as well as mixing in a bit of rotation. We need to rotate right now. People are saying, like, why did you bring Salah off in that game when you're 1-0 up with 30 minutes to go against Brighton? It's because of the circumstances. Realise the circumstances. He needs to change his team. And losing Mo Salah for half an hour is much better than losing Mo Salah for a longer period of time if you got an injury in that last half an hour. So I'm gonna be positive in the fact that he got taken off, even though he was fuming and stuff like that. I think he will be important to this game. That's why I've gone with what I think is our best front three. I've gone with 2 of the 3 best options for our midfield in Gini and Hendo, because we need a good 11. Same with the back line. I've gone with Alisson, I've gone with Robbo, I've gone with Matip, because we need good players to start this game. That's why I've gone with Tsimikas over Nico, because I think that's quality over. I think Tsimikas has got quality over Nico. Go with quality when you're facing a quality team. We need points. Use your best players that you've got available. So that's why I've gone with that 11. How should we approach this game? I don't even know, because you can say, well, take possession off them. It's much easier said than done when you're not playing consistent football with each other, and Liverpool aren't doing that right now. So I don't know how we should exactly approach the game. But one thing I will say is, I think one way that we can exploit Ajax, and it's a similar way to how we done it last time, counter-attacking football and do it at its finest, and utilise Mane, utilise Salah, utilise Jota, and hopefully players like Mane, who I think over the past couple of games has dropped levels just a bit. I think now will be a good time for him to step up, use that rest that he got midweek, and really come out of this game firing, and hopefully that's what we get to see. As for the score prediction, let me know yours in the comments down below. I'm going with, I'm not going to lie, I think it's going to be a draw. And I've never predicted a draw on this channel, but if I'm being real on how I think it's going to actually finish, I'm going with a 1-1 draw. Liverpool 1, Ajax 1. It's obviously at Anfield, which goes in our favour, but I just can't see a world where we score more than them, because I can't see a world where we score more than 1 goal with the way that we're playing. And I know why we're playing the way that we're playing, but that's just, it is what it is, isn't it? So I'm going with that score prediction myself. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But before I wrap up this Redmond roundup, and hopefully you're enjoying the longer episodes and stuff like that, I have got some of your comments to reply to, as always. So from Zé Marquez, I don't like to be a negative person, but if we lose against Ajax, it will be a season-defining moment. Zé Marquez is putting the pressure on us. Liverpool fans, nah, I don't know if I agree. And this is a show for debates, and no one's wrong, and that's why I want you to be interactive in the comments down below, and that's why I want to start pulling these up at the end of videos. I don't agree with this statement. I think if we lose to Ajax, I think it'll put pressure on the Midtjylland game. But one thing I will say is I think we should be beating Midtjylland whether we've got pressure on that game or not. So shouldn't really be an excuse in terms of a season-defining moment. Now, if we lose that game and then lose against Midtjylland, then you'll have to look at the Midtjylland game as the season-defining game, because obviously if we win one of them 2 games, we go through. Do you know what I mean? Well, I think we're already going to go through, but I mean that'll guarantee us top. Do you know what I mean? Because we've done so well in them first 3 games. So, Zay, even though I understand your worriness, I don't agree with your worriness. I think If Uncle James can just calm you down a second, basically what I'm just trying to offer to you is I don't think it's that bad if we lose to Ajax. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination, and I will be fuming. But it's not the end of the world, and I don't think it's a season-defining moment in the way that you're saying it, because it sounds negative when you're saying it there. But I do appreciate your opinion, and I do understand where you're coming from. Believe me, I'm not just being narrow-minded and shutting off what you're saying. I hear you, lads. Believe me. Believe me. Shakur Amir, James, have you recognised that Alisson on the corners? He is commanding the players. Class player, the leader of our backline whilst Virgil is away. He's not only the leader while Virgil is away, he's the leader while Virgil was there. Look how shit the defence was at the start of the season when we had no Alisson in goal. Look how shit it was. We had Van Dijk, and I'm not saying Van Dijk doesn't contribute to the leadership, or of course he does. Still the best centre-back in the world, but Alisson, the way he controls that back line, and let's be real, bar a few mistakes, has our back line really been that bad since Van Dijk's gone out injured? Like, with Alisson being in goal, has he really been that bad? I don't think it has, and I think that's because we have got the best goalkeeper in world football, in my opinion. I've said it a couple of times in this video. I'll probably say it once a video, to be fair. So, Shakur, you're right, mate. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And then the last comment from Jay Wright. Very good intro, brother. I see you're getting better with all the editing. Keep up the good work, lad. Nah, thank you so much, Jay, for the comment, and thank you so much for everyone who supported. I obviously, I'm going to be straight with you people. Right now, I'm recording everything off my phone, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm not going to give you the sob story, but right now, what I'm recording off is my iPhone 11. I was fortunate enough to get an iPhone 11 a couple of months ago. I've just got into the position where I can start actually getting paid from YouTube, so now I'm getting paid directly from YouTube itself, only just being able to get that process sorted. And I never want to be fake on this channel. I never want to not give you the recognition that you deserve, because obviously, even though it is me putting in like the work and the time to do the videos for you, if you're not showing support, then it's like there's not much of a point. Even though I love doing these videos, and I'd do it even if there was 10 of you watching, I'd have to have them 10 people actually liking what they're enjoying, and that's the point. It's not the amount of numbers, it's the quality over the quantity, and that's what I love right now. My numbers go like that, you know. A couple of weeks ago I was doing them numbers, now I'm doing like these numbers, but at one point I've been doing these numbers. Whatever they are, as long as the group of people that are watching the video in that moment have enjoyed the video, that's my number one aim. And pretty much the whole reason why I brought that up is to basically thank you for supporting me to a point where now I can work on YouTube, and I can try and aim towards something that's a dream. And people call this your job, but when you enjoy it, is it really a job? Is it really work when you enjoy it? That's the way I look at it, people. So even though I have a vision and stuff like that, I'm just forever grateful that you all see that vision with me, and that you want to carry that through with me. So thank you so much. We even got a sponsor. Again, go in there and download the OneFootball app. Link is in the description. Forever grateful to them for sponsoring this video. What else, man? I like to have these end of the streams to just chat with you, and I wish it was live so I could actually read the chat and stuff like that. When I get better Wi-Fi as well, I will bring better live streams and better quality live streams to interact with you more. Right now, people, it's just the start, is what I'm trying to say. This studio, this is a little cupboard. People have asked if it's my toilet. No, it's just a little cupboard in my house, and we've just put a few things here. I'm not going to try and make out like I'm in some proper studio, do you know what I mean? I'm recording on my phone. I'm using 20 quid earphones. I've got a laptop that I was given from my mum, you know. I've got all this. I'm not going to make out like I've got loads and loads of resources, but I'm making use with what I've got, and that's because of your support, and that's why I'm going to do the best videos possible when it comes to editing, when it comes to delivering my point. I'm going to do that to all the maximum. And obviously, when I start getting a little bit more money from YouTube and start making more of a living, because right now, I've only got enough to make ends meet, but when I start making more to the point, like, it's sound money, I'll start investing, and I'm planning on doing that very soon. People, believe me. Your support meant a lot, and it's actually done a lot for me, so thank you very much in that aspect. And yet, without you, none of this is possible. But the content will get better over time. I am always working on ideas, and once more, just forever thankful for your support. So thank you for watching this Redmond Roundup. Just thought I'd let you know that you are all the real deal. And every YouTuber should realise this, by the way. Without yous, we're nothing. Like, just remember that. Like, without yous, we're full haul. So yeah, that's just the point I wanted to get across there. But thank you for watching this video, yous. Make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe. And thank you for watching. Shout out to everyone. All the subs. Shout out to all the subs. Instead of the last 10 subs, shout out to all the subs. The Redmond army is in force. But no, thank you. Leave a like, leave a comment, and peace out, people.